Welcome. In this video, I want to share with you how unhealed childhood experiences show up in your marriage. You see, you didn't become defensive, silent, or overly giving just overnight. Your reactions today often carry the fingerprints of yesterday's experiences, those unspoken pain, the unmet needs, all those survival habits, all of those things. You learned them while growing up. And you see, marriage doesn't just create your triggers, it simply reveals them. So sometimes your partner's tone isn't the problem, it's the memory that their tone awakens. That stings. Sometimes you're not angry at what they did, you are angry at how familiar it feels. I can relate to this a lot because I grew up experiencing certain things, and I know how much I sometimes will get defensive with my husband because his voice and his action in those moments awaken something in me. So let's talk about some of these things, right? The first one is the child who was ignored will definitely learn to stay silent. I hope you know that. If you grew up in a home where your opinions didn't matter, you may now find yourself retreating into silence whenever conflict arises. You tell yourself it's not worth it, but deep down, you have just learned that speaking up equals rejection or punishment. So you shut down, not because you don't care, but because silence feels safer than not just being heard again, especially if you had parents who were a bit, dramatic about how they handled situations. The second is that the child who had to perform will become a people pleaser. You see, maybe you had to earn affection with obedience or achievements. Now in marriage, you overextend yourself. Cooking, helping, fixing, apologizing first, all because you want to avoid tension or disapproval. You think that peace is all about just suppressing your emotions, and you think that constant giving will protect the marriage. But the truth is, love built on people pleasing becomes a silent resentment factory, and you don't want that for yourself. Now the third is the child who was controlled becomes the controlling partner. If you grew up with strict, predictable parents, you may have promised yourself no one will ever make me feel helpless again. Now you control every details, how things should be done, how money should be spent, what peace should look like, because control feels like safety. But what if your spouse doesn't need control, but just connection? You see, when control takes the place of trust, love begins to suffocate. And so I know of how, some people get angry so much because their partner did not do certain things that just required communication. But because over time they have learned to always, put their guards up and always control how things should be, they end up suffocating the relationship. Do you see? The fourth is the child who felt unseen now begins to fight for attention. You see, maybe you had to compete for attention while growing up. So now, when your spouse actually gets busy or distracted or just withdrawn, you feel a bit invisible again. You feel rejected, and then you start to raise your voice, you start an argument or just withdraw emotionally, all because the child in you is crying, see me. You see, marriage cannot heal what only healing and inner restoration can do. So you need to start taking yourself seriously and understand why you are acting the way that you are, because I can also relate to the things I'm saying to you, and I have to heal over time. The fifth one is that the child who witnessed conflicts learns chaos as love. If arguments and tension were normal in your home, you might feel uneasy when things are calm. You start unnecessary fights just to feel close again, because somewhere in your nervous system it feels like peace is so strange and chaos feels better and familiar. Do you see? And that's why you have some people who are just troublesome for no reason. And the sixth is that the child who felt rejected now interprets love through fear. You keep waiting for the moment your spouse will change, will leave, or stop choosing you. And even when things are fine, you can't rest because love feels temporary. So you sabotage good moments before they fade, trying to protect yourself from future pain. But that's not love. That is trauma rehearsing its script. So if you grew up in that kind of situation, you would realize that you always think that an argument means that that is the end of the marriage. You're quick to say to yourself, I think it's not going to work. I know it's going to work away. You're saying these things to yourself because that is all that you understand. So healing begins with awareness. You cannot heal what you continue to justify. So the first step is honesty to say to yourself, this pattern is not just my personality. This is me protecting myself. And then invite the Holy Spirit into these protected corners of your life. Let him show you the difference between your defense mechanisms and your true nature. Because healing doesn't erase your past. It actually redeems how it shows up in your present. And then you come into therapy because, trust me, you want a person who understands what it feels like to have grown up in those cycles. Because that is where vulnerability will hit a new spot in you, where you finally feel free and you can release the weight. Now, growth steps to start with: pausing before reacting, asking yourself, why is my mind thinking this way? Is this my healed self or my wounded self? Ask yourself these questions. Don't just get angry and react and always react and keep it there. Learn to also communicate your triggers, because vulnerability will open the door for empathy for yourself. So get support. Healing is not just a solo mission. Trust me, it's a partnership between you, God, and safe people like your therapists and friends who really get you. Do you see? It's time for you to forgive your past. Don't keep excusing it. It's time for you to experience the marriage that you truly deserve. And I'm looking forward to having you speak up and get the healing that you want. And if you're also saying, well, I'm not ready for therapy, trust me, my book, Restoring Your Original Design, is a very fantastic place to start. It has questions and highlights about, shame, pain, rejection, identity, purpose, generational patterns, and so many other things. It also comes with a confession and a journal and audio devotional and even a healing Bible plan. Do you not see? So your marriage is not broken. It's just simply mirroring what still needs healing. So let this season be an invitation to grow deeper and not drift apart. You don't need to be perfect. You just simply need to become self-aware. If this resonated with you, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and drop a comment. I would always be there to respond to you. See you in another video, and bye.